Ka'alayim la Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Waha Rachak Wadash Shalom Shalom to the house of Israel Yashar Allah. Double honors to the apostle GMAs who teach and rule well. Peace and salutation to the brother who are doing the work in truth and sincerity. All right, in truth and sincerity. And then Shalom Ahab to the brothers and the sisters who are in this truth, who are awaiting, the return of our Lord and Savior. Yahushua Mashiach. Okay, that's a quick lesson, okay, regarding the atonement. Now, I don't know what happened when I was, doing my calculation. I missed some days, but it's all right, it's all good. Why I say that it's all good? Because of the fact that I will go on there quickly. Obviously, it's a preset that people know, right? The brothers know. I just want to, use that to make the point. All right. All right. So King Judges 5:11. Okay. It says that a day that delivered from the noise of archers. Okay. Meaning obviously that's a prophecy. All right, that's a prophecy. So we all know that the noise of the archers are the missile. Okay, the nuclear, the nuclear weaponry. Okay, that will come very soon, and get rid of Babylon and the whole system. So that they that are delivered from the noise of archers in the place of drawing water. Obviously, we know that to the spirit that the drawing waters is slavery, is modern day slavery, the whole system, the whole setting. We know that we live in a spiritual Egypt, right? So you say, there shall they rehearse the righteous act of the Lord. All right. So we rehearsing. So let's take a look at the rehearsal. Okay, rehearsal. Let's look at the definition of rehearsal. All right. So
Rehearsal.
right, rehearsal. Oh, shalom, man. Shalom to the brother. Shalom to the beautiful brother, man. Duval. Shalom to you, my brother. Shalom. So yeah, so I was saying let's look at the the rehearsal, right? So rehearsal means a practice or trial performance of a play or other work for public for later. Like yeah, for later. I need to pronounce the word properly, man. It's hard English, It's not hard, but it's hard because of the fact that I speak French before. So the way my tongue is set up from like when I was baby, it's the French in it, so it makes it very difficult. Yeah. So I'll read it again. So a practice or trial performance of a play or other work for later public performance. You see that? Rehearsal for the opera season, for example. Practice season, trial performance, read through. The action or process of rehearsing. Okay? The I didn't even slack you. All right, so you say the practice, the action or process of rehearsing. I've had a fortnight in rehearsal. Okay, I had a fortnight in rehearsal. So this is rehearsal, man, to rehearse. Okay. a practice or a trial performance of a play or other work for a later public performance. So that later public performance will be what? In the kingdom. But we have to rehearse right now, right? So the reason why I brought that precept is because of the fact that we rehearsing it right now. So sometimes we might, miss a day or two or whatever. But the most important thing is to rehearse. Because think about it, the way the system, the Edomite system is set up, it's hard for us to get it right because they change the whole thing anyway. They change the whole setup. They change the season, you know. They change the days and everything, So it's all messed up. So we're trying our best through the spirit to still keep and rehearse, the righteous act of Yahweh. So he says, I keep on writing, I will keep on reading. He say, even the righteous act toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. So that's one proof as well that these righteous acts are toward us, are for us, are supposed to be, rehearsed by us, not by any. Because he say in the village, his village in Israel, his villages in Israel, and that villages in Israel represent the people wherever they are. London, America, England, the Caribbean, West Africa, the island of the seas, Europe, everywhere we are, everywhere you go, Jake. And I'm saying, and he say, then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates. And obviously through the spirit, the people of the Lord, meaning, the 1/3, the 144, which is the governing body, and the rest of them who, follow Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai the whole time, they'll go to them gate, man. We know the gate at the 12th gate, through which we will enter the kingdom. Okay? So having said that, having established the fact that we're rehearsing, we'll talk about, the atonement, which is like, and I'll read it. Let's go to Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23. We start 24, and he says, "Speak." Or verse 20. We start 23. Okay. Let me see if I got it. If I shared it. Okay, I shared it. People can read it. So it says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month." So my camp, we will celebrate. We will do the fasting from Saturday sundown to sundown based on my calculation. But to be honest with you, I checked the sun yesterday, and I ain't gonna lie, it looked like a 10th day. So whoever is doing it today, I think is more likely to be like on the dot, like on point. But like I say, it doesn't really matter. Okay, as long as you keep it, as long as you have a day in that month, in this month, to really, you know, atone for your sin, you know, afflict your flesh and your soul, you know. So he says this. He says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpet, a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And yeah, that's so you see, and also that first day of the 7th month, right? It's also the the only the only day that was declared to be a Shabbat. Now, every new moon is a celebration, meaning like every new moon normally how people used to blow the trumpet, then they will come, they will have a little gathering, they will eat, Just like every weekend you go and see your family, and then or every two week, every fortnightly you go and see your family, and then you go and sit down and eat something and drink some yan or whatever. In that, in the culture, we used to do the same, but like Luna, like I said Luna, on a new moon, right? But like if you read number and 10 it explains to you what you put to do in the new moon. But the new moon of the seventh month is the only new moon that is considered to be a Shabbat. All right, it's considered to be a Shabbat. So pay attention to that. So he says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the seventh month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath and memorial of blowing of trumpet, a holy convocation." Right. Verse 25 says, "Yes, ye shall do no servant work therein." Obviously, servant work meaning like job where you get paid, like a job, a job. All right. But ye shall offer, so you shouldn't work normally, but we in Babylon. Okay, we're in Babylon and we're rehearsing it. Sometimes you have to work, man, to pay the bills, take care of your family. Sometimes if you ask certain job, when you ask these days off, they don't even want to give it to you. Because people that work know they have maybe 25 days a year. And it's like, damn, when you think about it, that's slavery, man. So you mean to tell me that I have 25 days a year where, you know, so basically, before I go anywhere, I have to check on you. Like, how? And that's why the Bible clearly say that we know in part and prophesy in part because we're boys. Say, when I was a boy, I did what boys did, roughly paraphrasing, but when I became a man, I did what a man did. Us Israelites, we're not men. We haven't reached the full potential, man. Because we are the Esau. You go to work, you can't even, if you want to go to Jamaica, you want to go West Africa, you want to go wherever you want to go, you have to ask, the system first before you get out. So that's why we have to rehearse, man. We have to ask for the mercy because this is slavery, man. This kingdom, man. It's the worst, the worst captivity we ever been through, man. It's ridiculous. But anyway, verse 26 says, "And the Lord spake." So I was saying that you can't work, you can't. Sometimes so you gotta work, you work, and then but if you're working, just just afflicted, just afflict your flesh and your soul. Just fast, man. Don't drink no water, don't drink no, you already know. No water, don't eat. Fast, man. We'll talk about fasting after that, after I read this one. We'll go in depth. 27. Also on the earth, on the 10th, also on the 10th day of this seventh month, right? There shall be a day of atonement. All right. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls. All right. And offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. All right. So you should afflict your soul, man. So actually, let me see something quickly. Let me write it. You should afflict your soul, you know? And we're gonna see how you have to afflict your soul, man. We're gonna get into the depth of it, you know. You should afflict your soul. So bear with me. Yo, Malak, I'm doing it live. I will call you in a bit. All right then. Y'all Bashem Yahushai. Khan, man, the brother, I'll call you Duval, even though it's a Slim D. Brother Duval say, pray, read, fast, repent, repeat. Malak, that's beautiful, Yapa. And he say Daniel 9:3. So I'm gonna read Daniel 9:3 quickly. Yeah, I'm gonna read Daniel 9:3 quickly. Daniel 9:3. Yeah, we're gonna get a bit deep about this, about the I want to do a quick one, but I might stretch it a bit because that fasting thing is very important, especially the time that we coming in, man. This time that we in this winter. Yesterday, I was telling the brother Lakamada, I felt something. There's something that's like my body, my spirit is like, it's like something is going on, man. Something's going on. So, brothers, we're gonna have to fast, man. We're gonna have to fast. So Daniel 9:3 says this, and I set my face unto the Lord Yahweh to seek by prayer and supplication with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. It's very important, man. The fasting, and the sackcloth as well. Sackcloth, which is the garment, really, because the garment that you're wearing are your sackcloth. So when you're out there, wear your garments. Wear your garment, man. If you want to have your t-shirt and fringes on, fair enough, but have a garment. Have a garment on, man. I'm telling you, because that's that sackcloth that the Bible says it speaks of in Revelation 11:3. You see. So yeah, now let me read quickly. Yeah. But even I think in Daniel 10 as well, let me get it. Let me see if I can get it, man. Let me see if I can get it quickly. In Daniel 10, he speaks of, let me get it quickly before I move on. Yeah, that's like Daniel, man. You gotta read Daniel, man. Daniel 10. How Daniel was starting to fast and he wanted a revelation, but the demon, they were blocking it, man, to the point where the Michael, you see, so but the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me, 1 and 20 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me and remained there with the king of Persia. You see, say, now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days, for yet the vision is for many days. So to be honest with you, yeah, certain doctrine that we don't understand, a certain spiritual, reality and understanding, certain breakthrough, certain sin that we still have because we don't fast hard enough. We don't fast hard enough. This is just the proof. Let me read it again. He said, but the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 1 and 20 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me and remained there with the kings of Persia. You see that? And verse 14 explains, say, now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter day. So the revelation for the latter day was supposed to come. So the Most High put a spirit on Daniel because he was going through something to really, discharge, download in his spirit, the revelation in that. But the demon, the spirit stopped him for 21 days to the point where Michael, the same one that would come, according to the Daniel 12, to save his people in Jacob's trouble, he had to come to help the brother Daniel. Okay, verse 15 say, and when he had spoken such word unto me, I set my face toward the ground, and I became dumb. And behold, one like the similitude of okay, we ain't gonna go into that because obviously. Now, let's go to verse 17. He say, for how can the servant of this my Lord talk with this my Lord? For as for me, straight away there remain no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me. Then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me. Verse 19 says, and said, O man greatly beloved, fear not, peace be unto thee, be strong, ye be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened and said, let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me. Then he said, knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee? And now will I return to fight, you see, the prince of Persia. So sometimes certain people want to do something to you or whatever, but if you fast, the angel can persuade them to change their mind. The government might try and do something to you. Your boss might try and do something to you. People might try to change the course of your life. But because you fast, The spirit will persuade whatever institution, whatever setting, whatever block that's there to change the mind, okay, and to open the door for you. So fasting is ever more crucial, important, key for us at this point. At this point, okay? So he say, then said he, knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia, and when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Gracia shall come. But I will show thee that which is noted in the scriptures of truth, and there is none that holdeth with me in these things, but Michael your prince. You see? So look, even when we go to preach, you have to understand you got territorial demon. There's a demon, okay, and his gang that know when you come to preach, and they were trying to do certain things. So, it's a very spiritual thing. So we gotta, how weapon, is fasting. Now we're gonna go to Galatians. We're gonna go to Galatians, and we're gonna break down a few things. Okay, we're gonna break down a few things. Actually, before I go to Galatians, I wanna go to Matthew, okay, 17, and we're gonna start at 17. Because Yahweh Shai himself spoke about that thing, man. So let's read from 17. He say, then Yahweh Shai answered and said, "O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him either to me." So the men of the Lord, the disciple, were trying to, you know, get rid, like to cast the demon out of a boy. But I couldn't, because that demon is strong. Why? Because they didn't have that faith. And sometimes faith comes through fasting. And that's what they're trying to tell him. Because he gave them the reason as to why they weren't able, okay, to cast that demon, because that demon was strong. And certain demons in our lives are so strong that if we don't have a lifestyle of fasting, my brothers and sisters, it's going to be hard, man. And this truth, if you don't have a lifestyle of fasting, even certain understanding, certain biblical understanding, certain logical, high common sense that a man of law is supposed to have, certain wisdom, certain being able to be aware of your surrounding, you won't have it. Because what happened is, we're gonna read it in Galatians, you will understand the battle that is taking place, okay, between the spirit and the flesh. All right, between the spirit and the flesh. So if you don't let the spirit take control of your flesh, even though you're in this truth, even though you know precept, even though you go out there to preach, your lifestyle will bear a false testimony, or bear a bad testimony toward the truth, the very truth that you're pushing. Okay, so verse 18 says, and Yahweh shall rebuke the devil, and he departed out of him. And the child was cured from that very hour. Like, remember, yeah, from that very hour. Remember, Yahweh shall the same that fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, There's a reason why he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. And it's to prove that if you have a consistent, pattern of fasting, you will have growth in your ministry. You will have growth in your life. That's just a fact. So we have to embrace, fasting, man. We have to, because even a disciple, when Yahweh Shai, died and when they went into shore, instead of dying, what did they do? They went to the chamber and started to pray and fast. And next thing you know, the spirit jumped on them. You see? So fasting is very key. Fasting is very key. Okay. Now we say, and Yahweh shall rebuke the devil and depart out of him. And the child was cured from that very hour, right? Verse 19 said, then came the disciple to Yahweh Shai apart and said, why could not we cast him out? And Yahweh Shai said unto him, because of your unbelief. Because you have to remember, you were born, or you grew up, or you came into this system. And this system molded you into a certain being, because in this country, you have to, in order to operate on certain level, you have to be like the people of this country. You got to have the mentality. So when you come in this truth, that mentality is still there. Especially when you come after 20, 25, 30, 40, or nearly your 50s. What happens is that your mentality, the way you think on an everyday basis, is cemented in your psyche. So every time you have a situation, without thinking, you go back to the old man, and before you know it, you're in the truth, but the way you move is that of an old man. Okay, so the Most High now is giving us a way to break out of that, and that's the secret is about to give us right now. He say, because of your unbelief. Because believing is not just believing that, oh, Yahushua, Bashem, Yahushua. No, it's in your deed. Your belief is really proven by your deed, by how you move. So anyone telling me, oh, I believe, but what do you do with that belief? That's the difference. See? What do you do with that belief? That's the difference. So he says here, he says, and Yahushua said unto him, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. So our struggle, obviously, a lot of our struggle are due, to the fact that we have to be purified. So a lot of things will happen to you because the Most High allow it, because they're agent of purification in your life. You see? But nevertheless, certain thing in your life, you gotta be able to meditate on your life. You gotta look yourself in the mirror and know where you go wrong. And the only way to break this thing out of your life is through fasting, man. Obviously, prayers, but you gotta add fasting to your prayers. Okay. Now he says, and he shall be removed, and nothing shall be impossible to you. So, hey, some brothers in this system, they're gonna go against Esau, man, because their faith level is high, because they prepare themselves. Just like, you go to boxers before they go to, boy, they're going to serious mode. And whoever prepared himself physically and mentally and spiritually, that was more ready, is the one that usually win the fight. It's not about change that people you obviously, yes, men going out of the Lord is true, but hey, you can't take that verse for granted. You have to prepare yourself. Yes, the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will create, a standard for us, a stronghold for us, a tower of protection for us. But most of the time, we have to build ourselves as well with His help. But we have to be willing to build those wall of that fortress around us when Esau come. And one of the key to build our fortress is a pattern of, repetitive fasting, a lifestyle of fasting, man. Sometimes the spirit is not on you to fast, understandable. But for the most part, a man of the Lord, if you're out there preaching and you're a frontliner and you're about this, and your parents know that you're about this, your enemy know that you're about this, everything, you got to make yourself strong, because the time will come where all these people will come against you, man. When you wake up in the morning and you see your face in the news about you being, almost a terrorist, or, a preacher of hate, and your mom has to call you, or your auntie, or your brother, or your manager has to, confront you at work regarding that, you're gonna have strong faith, man, to go through this, and faith. I mean, fasting will help you to really be that Superman, because you see this movie about X-Men, Superman. These are people that are able to conquer something in them that made them get to the next level. That made them superior to the normal, mortal out there. And that's where we're going. See? Verse 21 say, howbeit this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. So some demons, they ain't gonna leave you, boy. My brothers and sisters, some demon ain't gonna leave you until you really take that. It's like if you wanna lose weight. You can't say I wanna lose weight and then you staying home, you ain't go out there, man. If you wanna lose weight, you're gonna have to to put in work, effort, pain, pain. You gotta make your body feel the pain sometime. Because when your body feel the pain, your spirit is able now to take over it. And when your spirit take over him, everything is spiritual at that point. So let's go into the last verse and I'm gonna close out. I don't want to make it too long. So he says, Galatians 5 and 17. And he says, for the flesh. Okay, verse 16 say, you know, listen, verse 15 say, but if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another. You see, verse 16 say, this I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Walk in the spirit. And when he say walk in the spirit, meaning, the opposite of the spirit is the flesh. So in order for you to be able to walk in the spirit, you got to bring in the element of fasting, because what fasting does is like it imprison your flesh, and it allow your spirit now to take control, to take precedence in your life, to the point where your spirit tells you what to do. But if you don't do that, what's going to happen 9 times out of 10, your flesh will be the one to tell you what to do. And there come the old man. So it's about this truth here. This is why it's so difficult, because you always have to wake up in the morning and decide whether you want to feed, the old man or the new man. Who do you want to feed? And it's easy. Some situation might arise, and then you've got your feeling that get involved. Do you let go to let your spirit take hold of you, or do you let it sink in you, and then let your flesh, and then now you're gonna be moving like a worldly guy in this truth, because you don't have the lifestyle of fasting. So fasting is important. So verse 17 say, for the flesh. Now, verse 16, this I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit. See that? For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. So there's this constant, eternal, never-ending war between those two elements. You see, and that's why this truth is so hard, and that's why some brothers end up living this truth, or some brothers end up being just Pharisees, where they in the truth, but the lifestyle, the way they behave, the way they move, and the patterns, it's just off, man, because they don't work on the spirit. You see? So he says, for the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary, the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. See, so you want to do the good thing, you want to do good deep inside you, but somehow there is that strong man it's like almost like he kidnaps you, and you want to do good, but you always end up doing bad. That's because of the strong man. And I know that in my life, when I just like the spirit of lust can be so hard on me, like to the point that I have to fast, man. Because it's just like wake up and all you want to do is to do the things of lust. And you're thinking like, but I know it's wrong. Well, how can I not be strong against that? That's because the strong man kidnap you. So you gotta fast. You gotta fast. So he say, but ye will be led, but if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law. Meaning, if you're led through the spirit, you're not gonna sin, because if you sin, you're under the law. That's what you mean by that. If you sin, then you bring the consequences of the law. If you sin, then you bring the element of the law, because the law that says, sin is the transgression of the law. There's the law that say do not commit adultery. There's the law that say do not commit fornication. There's the law that say do not kill. There's the law that say do not lie. There's a decree, which is a law that says do not follow a multitude to sin. So that's what I mean. But if you have a lifestyle of fasting, what's going to happen that the consequences of the law ain't going to have much effect on you. That's what it means. But the Christian don't understand that. They would take that one and say, or you say, if you be led by of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. But what is to be led, of the Spirit is to do the thing of the Spirit, which is righteousness. You see, because to be righteousness is to be spiritual. So verse 19 say, now the works, now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, adultery, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, sedition, heresies, envying, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. So, to be honest with you, us not fasting even can be bad for our salvation, because if you don't fast, if you got demon, what do you think is going to happen? They're always going to make you sin, sin, sin. And the Bible clearly say that if you keep on sinning, you're not going to enter. So this is the time for our repentance, and the Most High has given us through that day of atonement the opportunity to go again hard when it comes to fasting. So I pray that we're all able to fast, and so we can conquer the flesh, because we are called to conquer the flesh. The Most High chose us out of families, out of social settings, and friends, to be the example of righteousness. So with that, I would say, Kalayamla, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Wahab, Rakak, Wadash, Kwam Yasharala, Shalom.